Lo que parece que a este punto los únicos videos de los que voy a hacer van a ser o Death Battle de la Amazing Ditch y los Circus, pero no se preocupen, después de esta reacción al Death Battle, los siguientes videos van a ser más variados o más diferentes a esta madre. Buenas tardes, he regresado con otro video. Y digan, no sé si me tardé un poquito porque normalmente estos videos los grabo en el momento en el que salen y los subo el siguiente día, pero esta vez no, esta vez lo estoy grabando un día después, pero ya a quién le importa, lo voy a ver.
Say your prayers.
De todas formas, casi nadie ve mis reacciones a Death Battle.
Yuji versus Denji.
Wow.
The Vessel of Sukuna versus the Chainsaw Man.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. If Yuji Itadori was one thing, he was strong. As his grandfather lay dying, he made Yuji promise to help others and not to die alone.
A promise Yuji would keep by joining Jujutsu High, a school for up-and-coming sorcerers training to rid the world of curses.
Essentially monsters manifested by humanity's fears, hatreds, and anxieties.
Just one problem for Yuji. Unlike everybody else, he didn't have a magical curse technique. Oh no, he had something way worse.
After consuming a cursed finger, like a literal finger, Yuji became possessed by its original owner, the king of curses, Ryomen Sukuna, the most powerful sorcerer in history.
Como dicen mis amigos, Tukuna.
And Yuji's willpower was the only thing holding Sukuna back from controlling his body, killing everything in sight, and taking over the world.
So Yuji got to know his surly new roommate, and perhaps one day he would show him a kinder, gentler path.
No
A
creo.
classic shonen hero's journey if I've ever heard one. Yuji would track down and nosh on the rest of Sukuna's cursed fingers before they caused any more trouble.
Fulfilling his late grandfather's wish to use his strength in service of others, surrounded by friends.
Helps that he's getting a first-rate education from the strongest sorcerer alive today,
fuck.
Gojo.
Gojo would teach Yuji to harness and manipulate
Gojo.
the absolutely absurd amount of cursed energy he inherited from Sukuna.
Cursed energy is basically like evil ki, and Yuji can use it to see invisible curses and enhance his already superhuman strength and martial arts skills he learned from his gramps, making him a monster in close quarters combat.
Yuji knows Taido, a Japanese martial art derived from Okinawan karate. It focuses on agility and flexibility with the inclusion of spins, twists, tumbles, drops, rolls, and fleet footwork.
Which he combines with jujutsu techniques like divergent fists.
Pues hace rato
Yuji strikes an
tiene-
enemy so fast that his
puede
cursed energy
golpear,
takes a
y
second
ya.
to catch up, hitting his
Yo no
opponent
le entro
twice and
mucho
messing
a
up their rhythm.
Jujutsu
By
Kaisen,
perfecting
la
that
neta.
timing and applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of a hit, Yuji can achieve the Black Flash,
What the fuck is
increasing the
Black
power
Flash?
of his hit by a factor of 2.5. A feat that would require reaction speeds nearly 1,000 times faster than sound.
It's basically impossible to do at will. You're so in the zone when you pull it off that it fully restores your cursed energy and boosts your output to 120%.
Yuji's Black Flashes are
No
so
estoy
strong in
entendiendo
particular, the author
absolutamente
himself
nada.
stated that 5 in a row would have been enough to instantly kill the special grade curse, Jogo.
Who
Yo.
did this? And this? And this?
How many has Yuji ever done in a row, you ask? 7.
And that's
Siete.
not even the nastiest thing about
Ahora
Yuji's
estamos hablando de
punches.
este güey
Because another soul resides
majito.
in his body, Yuji learned how to target the soul itself, doing damage to opponents who could normally regenerate from his hits.
Yeah, this pink-haired brat was a jujutsu prodigy, perfect for Gojo's dream. You see, it's lonely at the top, and Gojo wanted to train a crop of pupils powerful
Panda.
enough to share the burden of reforming Jujutsu society.
Until one fateful battle when Gojo was sealed away and Sukuna took over Yuji's body. Then proceeded
fuck.
to, well, commit that whole mass murder thing he was always going on about.
Bush.
Yeah, turns out Sukuna is evil. Like,
Neta.
really, totally, completely, irredeemably evil.
No,
And it also
neta.
turns out that every twist and turn in Yuji's life was orchestrated by the body-hopping sorcerer Kenjaku in order to resurrect Sukuna and bring about the curse apocalypse.
In Yuji's
Okay.
eyes, something he was completely
Entiendo nada.
responsible for. And so, having failed his grandfather, Yuji's outlook shifted.
No longer would he fight to protect others, but to kill curses.
Wow.
And after Sukuna hopped bodies into Yuji's best pal Megumi, the king of curses became numero uno on Yuji's shit list.
Yuji's defeated powerful disaster curses like Hanami and Mahito, survived being slammed so hard he cratered the earth, and is comparable to sorcerers like Maki, who tanked getting rammed through entire mountain ranges.
Yuji also learned how to use super advanced abilities, like reverse curse technique,
What
to
the fuck?
heal himself from crazy damage. Like getting his torso shredded into chili.
What the fuck?
And in some other sorcerers' cases, even regrowing lost limbs.
Though it takes a lot of energy to regenerate blood. So after going on a cursed object feeding frenzy, he learned how to manipulate his own blood to speed up his healing. Or fire it like a blood beam. A poisonous blood beam.
All of that combined made Yuji just tough enough to finally take on the King of Curses. Although greatly weakened after his victory against Gojo.
Rip.
Haha, se murió.
Literally.
Sukuna
Se
was
murió.
still the de facto strongest being alive. But after hitting him with a black flash,
murió.
Yuji actually copied Sukuna's main ability.
Gojo's plan all
No me echen
along.
hate, yo nunca he visto Jujutsu Kaisen. Yo solo voy a decir.
With it, Yuji can slice apart any surface he touches, an enemy's
Oh,
flesh, the
shit.
ground beneath him, even the boundary between two souls in one body. Enough hits can even cause those two souls to separate.
Like a souped up version of his normal punches.
Even better, Yuji finally gained access to the most powerful weapon in any sorcerer's arsenal.
Why?
A domain expansion.
Ah, fuck.
Basically a pocket dimension created by the
Esa
sorcerer
palabra
where
que
their
casi,
ability
casi
will
todos
hit
en
no
la
matter
secundaria
what.
andaban
No
diciendo,
contact
uno de mis
needed.
amigos.
If you're trapped in Yuji's
Expansión
domain,
de dominio,
you're getting
casa
sliced
de
to
Mickey Mouse.
ribbons.
With all his power and training and righteous fury, Yuji severed Sukuna's soul from Megumi's body, freeing his friend from the demon's clutches. But not before offering Sukuna one last chance at redemption.
Which he rejected before dying because, well, evil. Leaving Yuji to grow into one of the most fearsome sorcerers in history.
Turns out the cursed objects that Yuji consumed made him part cursed and slowed his aging to a crawl, giving him decades of training and battle experience.
He
Ese gato.
masters blood manipulation, can pull off black flashes at will,
Ay,
and
no,
shred an
es
entire
demasiado
city's apart with
overpowered.
shrine. Just like Gojo and Sukuna before him, he became the strongest.
But what actually makes someone
Oh no,
truly
yo le voy a
strong?
Denji,
For
pero
Sukuna,
este
it was
vato
the power
parece
to
ser
stand
demasiado
alone atop all
overpowered.
others. But to Yuji, it was the opposite.
The only reason he had survived as long as he had was because of the mercy and sacrifice of his friends.
So Yuji brought together friends and allies, new and old, to create a world eventually free from curses entirely, fulfilling not just Gojo's wish, but his grandfather's as well.
Because if Yuji Itadori was one thing, he was strong.
Ah, fuck, creo que Denji va a perder.
Wiz,
Creo.
if there are two truths in this world, two universal constants,
Ah,
it's
sigue
these.
Denji, okay.
Life sucks and then you die.
Especially for the young boy, Denji.
Who was
Denji.
so poor and unlucky, he doesn't even know his last name.
With an
Wow.
alcoholic father forever indebted to the Yakuza, and a diet consisting of whatever garbage he could get his hands on, all Denji had in this world was his dog,
Pochita.
Who happened to have a chainsaw sticking out of his face.
Ah,
I just built a budgeting app with Base 44.
Interesting. Can it generate reports?
Really putting the tear in Terrier.
Pochita wasn't an actual dog, obviously. He was a devil. Monstrous superpowered beings literally from
Ay,
hell
güey.
that are created by and represent humanity's worst fears.
Sa.
In Pochita's case, literally the personification
Pochita.
of chainsaws.
Oh, he's
Yay.
so cute. Who would be afraid of chainsaws? They're the most versatile tool in the
Pochita.
world. Perfect for chopping trees, opening cans, massacring
fuck?
your foes.
Apparently, Pochita had no problem with that last part, as he and Denji hunted down and killed his devil brethren.
It's a tough job, but when selling your testicles won't pay off your dad's debts, it'll do.
That is,
Imagínate.
until Denji was cornered and forced to learn about
fuck.
those two universal constants. Life sucks, and then you die.
But sometimes, if you're really unlucky, there's a third option.
Born from his and Pochita's contract, a literal deal with the devil, Pochita would become one with Denji's body in exchange for Denji to live a happy life.
And so
Yay.
the two fused into a half-human, half-devil hybrid, the Chainsaw Man.
Ja.
aka a one-man blood-soaked devil
Técnicamente
slaying
sí me vi
machine.
todo
The perfect
Chainsaw Man,
candidate for the
no el
public
último
safety
episodio,
devil hunters,
o sea,
led by this piece of work.
casi la,
With nothing
ok.
controlling him but his raging
Ah,
teenage
violadora.
hormones, Denji would battle all of devil kind in
El
the
último
hopes
episodio
of
de
one
Chainsaw.
day getting laid.
He
Ah,
was a natural at killing, not
censura,
getting laid.
censura
As the
épica.
Chainsaw Man, Denji can
Voy a tener
slice
que
through
volver a
just about
censurar
anything
desde
and
putas.
generate new chainsaws from any surface of his body.
Esta, ¿cómo
Or
se
swing him
llamaba?
around on massively long chains.
Ahí está,
Oh man, that's so cool.
chava,
It
¿cómo
helps
se
that
llamaba?
Denji is incredibly powerful, capable of lifting and throwing cars, surviving being blasted through several
Rece.
buildings, and moving way faster than the eye can
Ok,
see.
tengo que
And if he
volver a
happens to get torn
censurar.
apart by some ornery devil,
Ah.
no biggie, because he can regenerate
La
from
de
just
disparar
about anything.
épicamente.
Denji has survived being sliced to pieces, having his head torn off, being dipped in demonic stomach acid for hours, and even getting his heart ripped out.
Wow.
Haven't we all? Chainsaw Man didn't regenerate his heart. Oh no, his heart regenerated a Chainsaw Man.
What the
Even
fuck?
separating Denji and Pochita won't stop them. When Denji was stuck in this
Eso sí
alternate
no me lo
dimension,
sabía.
he and Pochita still possessed a metaphysical connection.
With
Ugh.
their stomachs.
While his healing
Ugh.
factor can
Oh,
be
fuck.
overtaxed, all he needs to do is
Rece.
drink some blood and he's back to full health.
And considering that
Epa.
chainsawing devils apart is basically an infinite blood exploit, he almost never runs out, only limited by the violence-induced
Ustedes si
psychotic
quieren ver la
frenzy he
versión
enters in
sin
combat.
censura, pues
While
vean
he's
el
not
maldito Death
actually
Battle.
crazy, Denji
Ahí podrán
might be,
apreciar a
though he
Máquina y la
definitely
madre.
is an under-socialized moron led by his dick, but he's surprisingly clever in combat.
Almost always thinking outside the box
Ooh.
and coming up with so dumb they're brilliant strategies to take on devils that should be too strong for him.
In short, Denji was the perfect soldier and was rewarded for his efforts with something that began to resemble a happy life. Aki, the stern older
Aki,
brother,
ese güey.
Power, the bratty younger sister, and Makima,
Yo
his
Sharemi.
boss, and the girl of his dreams.
Oh.
All Denji had to do to finally score with that dead-eyed redhead was to kill the most fearsome devils in existence,
And
like
then-
the Typhoon Devil who created a massive hurricane, or the Bomb Devil who could blow up most of a city,
Bueno, Rece
or
ya
the
está muerta.
Gun Devil who could travel around
Ah,
the world
el de la
and kill
pistola.
over 1 million people in about 5 minutes.
But,
Wow.
plot twist, he had to kill Makima too, because she was secretly the Control Devil, one
Ah,
of the four
¿quién lo
horsemen
diría?
of the apocalypse.
El demonio de
Everything she told
control.
Denji
Wow.
was a lie. The
Spoilers,
happy life he
hombre.
created, the family he made, all of it was designed to be
Ah, fuck, no, power.
One goal, to force Denji to break his contract with Pochita and become her servant. Order 66ing every devil she didn't like. But when Denji did break, Pochita took over.
Ah, mató
Now,
todos.
Pochi might look cute
Ah,
and
pinche
cuddly,
máquina,
but the
culera.
Chainsaw Devil is one of the strongest and scariest dudes in the universe, capable of tearing through hordes of devil hybrids like nothing.
More than enough to give Denji his opening to beat Makima by cutting her up into sashimi and eating her whole.
I know.
Very similar solution to the Chainsaw Devil's most powerful ability.
Anything Pochita eats gets deleted from existence. Yeah, like it never happened in the first place. World War II? Gone. AIDS? Nada. Nuclear frickin' bombs? A light, tasty afternoon snack, thank you very much. Forgive me, chainsaws. I knew not your power.
He also ate
Elefante.
the Death Devil. Yes, Denji ate death, which means
what?
no one on Earth could die.
Oh, you think that's
Chaos.
messed up? Let's talk about his next romance, Asa.
A sweet, shy, awkward girl.
Asa.
Perhaps Denji's one true love, except for the fact that she shares a body with Makima's sister, Yoru, the War Devil.
Who
Ah, wow.
herself is in love with the greatest warmonger of them all, the United States of America.
And Yoru was determined to use her
Whoa.
love of the USA to drown the world in a ceaseless hurricane of blood.
What
Angie,
the
buddy,
fuck?
you ever considered maybe switching to guys or something? Because every single woman you meet has tried to kill you.
It was
Wow.
in Denji's climactic battle with the War Devil that his and Pochita's bond finally matured.
Bueno, lo
giving
malo-
Denji
lo
full
malo
control
que
of the
Power ya
Chainsaw
no
Devil's
está,
power.
F.
A kind of Denji man, I guess.
Denji man.
Which he used to kick the War Devil's ass. And she was no joke. Strong enough to shoot Pochita from across the globe with a near light
What
speed
the
2-ton
fuck?
bullet from the goddamn Statue of Liberty. Better yet, Yoru was so powerful she turned
Monument
Oregon into
Mythos,
a
básicamente.
sword. Yes,
What?
the state of Oregon.
El estado de Oregon
Crumple
en
the
un
entire
maldito-
landmass into a blade,
en un-
fly it over to Japan,
What the
and
fuck?
swing it at Denji. And he matched its power.
She also threw the American flag at him. The one on the moon.
Wait,
You
¿qué?
know, the moon in space. in seconds, and he dodged it.
With the
What
whole
the
world
fuck?
literally falling
Hay un
apart,
chingo de cosas en
Pochita
el manga
realized
y
that
está bien
becoming
raras.
Chainsaw Man made Denji's dream for a normal life impossible.
Something Denji was always too stubborn and selfish to realize until it was too late.
So Pochita did what any good dog would do. Eat himself and
What
erase
the
the Chainsaw
fuck?
Devil from existence, creating a new world without him and leaving Denji just Denji.
But maybe all this time, Denji was enough. Being Chainsaw Man could not save his loved ones, but being Denji could.
Huh.
Because, sure, life sucks and then, yeah, you'll die. But while you're stuck in between, chasing your dreams with your buds can help make life
Ah, no, ahí está
worth
Power.
living.
Qué chido. Ya no entendí cómo va esto.
All right, the
A
combatants
ver.
are set, and we've run
Ya
the
no sé
data through
cómo
all
va la historia de
It's time for a
maldita
death battle!
Chainsaw Man. Está bien raro. Power está muerta o viva. Quién sabe. Ok, empezamos la batalla. What the fuck. Ah, por supuesto.
Oh man. Oh no. You're fine. You're fine. This wasn't my fault. I've never felt such weird cursed energy like his before. Say your prayers.
Denji, no puedes iniciar justo así, pero bueno. Uff.
You're a
En la piel.
chainsaw curse? Oh no! I'm the hero to all. Kicker masses, magnet to chicks, half man, half
What the
devil,
fuck?
chainsaw man.
Ah, bueno.
Let's finish this. Chainsaw instant death technique.
The fuck. Ah. Se pelearon los, se pegaron los huevos.
Batter up, pig-head, punk-ass bitch.
Te pegaron. ¿Por qué te pegas a ti mismo? O sea, técnicamente no se rompió. What the fuck? Wow. Lo corta épicamente. Ah, fuck. Ah, Kratos.
Wait for it.
Espérate. Espera.
I realized you had two cursed energy sources in one body, so I separated them. Speaking of,
Ah, fuck. Es Pochita. Ah, fracción de segundo. Denji, quítate de ahí.
domain expanded.
Ah, fuck, ya valió. Fuck. Denji, ya valiste. What the fuck?
You messed up, baby! Pochita and I are brothers! You'll never keep us apart!
Denji, no digas cosas que... Denji, creo que vas a perder. Denji, estoy 99... No, espera. What the fuck? Espera, ¿qué?
Finally got you to stop moving! See? We can be smart too, huh?
Ok, no, ok. Mentira, va a ganar este güey. Denji, creo que vas a perder. Ay, ya valió. ¿No le pasa nada? ¿O qué pe? ¿Qué está pasando, güey? ¿Qué está pasando? ¿Qué está ¿Qué está pasando? Bueno, ya no sé quién va a ganar. Ah. ¡Oh!
A human and a curse. Brothers.
Brothers. Panas.
You don't see that every day.
Oh shit, sí ganó Denji.
All right, Pochita. I wonder if that burger place is still open.
Ah, sí ganó, por fin.
Yo! If Yuji Itadori
Yay!
was one thing, he was strong. Just not strong enough today.
Let's break this down into 4 chapters. Their speed, skill, abilities, and power.
First off, who was faster?
Yuji's greatest speed feat
A
is
ver.
the Black Flash. In order to apply cursed energy within 1 microsecond of a strike, Yuji would have to move and react at over 900 times the speed of sound.
Insanely fast. But remember that time Denji dodged that flag that Yoru summoned from the moon? You know,
yes.
The one that's over 200,000 miles away?
Considering Denji's position from start to impact, all while in the midst of a fast-paced battle, this must have happened in a matter of seconds.
We'll lowball it and say 10, though
10
it'd probably
segundos.
have to be faster to use against Denji in a fight.
This means the flag must have been moving over 12% the speed of light.
Over 100 times faster than the Black Flash.
Now,
Dios.
Yuji has gotten significantly stronger since his adolescence, but we know for a fact that in Jujutsu Kaisen, relativistic speeds are something humanity has explicitly not yet achieved.
So it's pretty clear that Denji
Denji
takes
is not
speed.
rapid.
However, Yuji has made a career out of going up against enemies far out of his league by relying on his skill.
And what a career it's been! He defeated the King of Curses all before he was even an adult, and he continued to train and master his jujutsu techniques for decades.
Whereas Denji, while certainly a clever, unorthodox fighter, would often get by due to his sheer stubbornness and
Sí,
durability.
Denji solo lo hace porque se da
With
cuenta.
Yuji's greater experience and martial arts
Yuji
combined,
sí
he
piensa,
was
Denji
definitely the
no.
more skilled fighter.
What
Denji
wasn't as clear-cut
dice
was
a ver
who
qué
had the
pasa.
better abilities.
Specifically,
Habilidades.
how well they can cut each other and how well they can heal from being cut. So I guess it's their cut ability.
Ah, se
Both could
mamó.
survive pretty insane wounds, though Denji's devil healing factor was superior.
The most Yuji has ever healed were some big slashes against his stomach.
And while other similarly powerful sorcerers like Gojo
Ah,
could
chinga tu madre.
regenerate lost limbs, Denji could regenerate almost all of his body from a single cord
Huh.
pull. That being said, Yuji's soul-targeting attacks have done lasting damage against those with superior healing like Mahito.
Not just that, but literally splitting two souls apart. That's how he beat Sukuna, and he could potentially do the same thing to
Espérate.
break apart Denji and Pochita.
However, it's not so simple. Sukuna was already severely weakened at the time, and it took Yuji several hits to separate him and Megumi.
And on top of that, even if Denji and Pochita were split up, we know they keep a metaphysical connection when apart. In fact, they were split up when they were fighting Makaba, and they had no problem rejoining. No reason they couldn't do it again here.
However, Denji's healing factor isn't unlimited. He'll need blood to heal eventually, and the range and speed of Yuji's slashes would force Denji to tank them to get up close.
Even if he could, Yuji's healing factor wouldn't last nearly as long against Denji's chainsaws. But then Yuji could back off, Denji chase him, and so on.
Like an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object, neither had a clear edge in cut ability.
So what it ultimately came down to was power.
No,
Who
pues
could do
ya
the most
Denji.
damage and wear the other guy down first?
Yuji slicing apart an entire city is one of the most
Porque si
impressive
Denji
feats in
ganó,
all
pues
of
es que lo va a
Jujutsu
ganar
Kaisen.
Denji.
By measuring the clouds of dust created in his attack's wake, we can estimate he launched over 5.5 million tons of debris into the air.
No puse atención,
That kind
perdón.
of force is equivalent to over 3 megatons of TNT,
Okay.
comparable to a hydrogen bomb.
But unfortunately for Yuji, while he could cut apart a city, Denji was Oregon level.
The state of Oregon is the 9th largest in the Union by total area, nearly 100,000 square miles. By estimating its volume, Yoru compressed a mass weighing over 750 trillion tons. One swing from that sword would hit with an energy of over 30,000 megatons of TNT.
Which is like
okay.
10,000 hydrogen bombs. And
Okay,
not
ya
only did
listo.
Denji
Ay,
survive a
güey.
swing, he straight up overpowered it. That's insanely strong, but
The
not
America
inconsistent.
Devil.
Like the time Yoru fired that globe-spanning near-light-speed bullet from the Statue of Liberty.
Sure, Yuji's citywide dismantle was done casually, but so was Yoru crumpling Oregon. Yuji's dismantles would need to be 1,000,000% stronger to do significant damage to Denji.
Especially with Denji's OP healing factor too.
Denji takes the final edge in power.
Ah.
All Denji needed was one good hit to finish
Este video va a
the fight.
tardar un poquito
And with
menos
his
en
far greater
salir que el
speed,
de
it was only a
Reza
matter
contra
of time.
Bakugo,
What
porque
can I
aquí
say,
hay menos
Yuji?
censura.
Denji's just got
Solo
that
es máquina
dog in
y hay
him.
otras de Reza,
is
pero son,
Denji,
son
the
menores,
Chainsaw
así
Man.
que va a tardar menos.
Next time on
Ok,
Death
¿qué
Battle.
sigue? No sé. Superman. What the fuck? Superman
Subscribe
y...
and join as a member to see more
Ah,
Death Battle.
Sentry. Ah,
Thanks
no,
for
es
watching.
Superboy Prime. El Sentry versus Superboy. ¿Quién es Superboy? De Superboy. No, Boy. Prime. Ok, es una versión alterna de Superman y ya. No le veo lo especial. Pero bueno, eso Ese fue Yuji versus Denji.